She was told to stay silent. She was told to remain in the shadows. But moments ago, Sarah Ferguson, the Duchess of York, did the unthinkable. In an act of defiance that has sent shockwaves through the monarchy, she has broken her silence and exposed a secret so explosive, it has thrown Buckingham Palace into what our sources describe as total and utter panic. The gates have been breached from the inside, and the carefully constructed walls of royal secrecy are crumbling. If you're fascinated by the moments when the royal family's control truly slips, you need to be here. Welcome to Royal Report 24/7. And if you want to be the first to hear the stunning secret Fergie has just revealed, make sure you're part of our community. Subscribe and hit that like button right now. Sharing this video is how we break through the palace's wall of silence. Now, let's get to the story that is rocking the foundation of the House of Windsor. According to multiple insiders, the catalyst for this nuclear option was a quiet, yet devastating decision from the king. Just days ago, Sarah Ferguson was allegedly informed that she would be formally and completely banned from all future royal family events. This wasn't just about being excluded from the balcony at Trooping the Color. This was a final, formal exile from the family she has desperately tried to rejoin for over 3 decades. Our sources indicate this decision was personally signed off by King Charles III. The reason? A growing fear within the palace that Fergie, in her financial ventures and her increasingly outspoken media presence, was becoming a constitutional loose cannon. The final straw, we are told, was her involvement in a recent documentary project that palace courtiers believed was veering dangerously close to revealing private family matters. But King Charles and his advisors made a critical miscalculation. They underestimated a woman who has spent her entire adult life being publicly ridiculed, bankrupted, and ostracized by the institution. They pushed someone who has nothing left to lose. And so, Fergie launched her counterattack. In a pre-recorded interview with a sympathetic journalist, released just hours ago, she has allegedly exposed what insiders are calling the Windsor Promise. So what is this secret? The details are still emerging, but our sources suggest it revolves around a long-standing, unwritten agreement within the royal family. A promise of financial security and protection for life for those who marry in, on the condition of their perpetual silence and good behavior. This isn't about the sovereign grant. This is about the private wealth of the monarch, the Duchy of Lancaster, and the understanding that the institution will provide a safety net for its members, especially those who are cast out. Fergie's explosive claim, we are told, is that this promise was broken for her. That after her divorce, she was left financially adrift and deliberately isolated, forced to write books and give interviews not for fame, but for sheer survival, all while being publicly shamed for those very actions. She is allegedly exposing the brutal economic reality behind the gilded curtain, that you are cared for only as long as you are useful and discarded when you become a problem. The panic inside Buckingham Palace is not about embarrassment. It is about precedent. If the Duchess of York can break ranks and speak about the financial mechanics and private agreements of the firm, what is to stop others? This exposes a vulnerability the palace has spent centuries fortifying. It reveals the monarchy not just as a family, but as a corporation with a strict and, some would say, cruel HR department. Courtiers are reportedly scrambling. Legal teams are being consulted on injunctions and gagging orders. The communications office is in a frenzy, trying to formulate a response that doesn't confirm the allegations by the very act of denying them. The fear is that this opens the floodgates. It makes every future royal divorce, every future estrangement, a potential financial and public relations time bomb. To understand the sheer magnitude of this, you have to understand Fergie's unique position. She is not a senior working royal, so she isn't bound by the same contractual restraints. She is also not a distant cousin with no story to tell. She was married to the king's brother for a decade. She was in the room. She knows where the financial bodies are buried. She knows the private tensions, the secret allowances, and the unspoken agreements that have governed the family for generations. Her act of defiance is a direct challenge to King Charles's vision of a slimmed-down monarchy. He wants to trim the fat, to make the institution more cost-effective and palatable to the public. But Fergie is now exposing the human cost of that slimming down. She is portraying herself as the first casualty of Charles's new world order, a woman thrown to the wolves for the sake of a more streamlined brand. The court of public opinion is already shifting. The narrative of Fergie the desperate is rapidly transforming into Fergie the whistleblower. People are asking questions they've never asked before. How does the royal family's private wealth really work? What obligations do they have to the people who marry into it? Is the institution a family, or is it a cold, calculating business? This is no longer about a toe-sucking scandal from the 90s. This is a direct attack on the financial and operational secrecy of the crown. Sarah Ferguson, the woman they once called the Duchess of York, has just become the monarchy's most dangerous internal threat. And she has done it with nothing but the truth as she knows it. The palace is in panic because their control has been lost. The secret is out, and there is no taking it back. This story is moving at lightning speed. The palace's next move, Fergie's next revelation, it's all unfolding now. If you want to follow every shocking development in this unprecedented royal crisis, you need to stay with us. Help us continue this reporting. Subscribe to Royal Report 24/7, like this video, and please share it far and wide. The truth deserves an audience. The walls are tumbling down. We'll be here to document the fall.